Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. Okay, I want to go into a quick lesson on something I was meditating earlier today on how with everything going on, it's literally the closest that we've ever been. You know, each day, each second that passes by, we get closer and closer to the time of Yahweh Shai's return. But just stepping back and thinking about everything, since according to this world, this is a new year. This is the closest we've ever been to the return of Yahweh Shai, and not only that, this is the closest we've ever been to the kingdom of heaven being established on earth. Again, which is an obvious statement because time is just steady going on in real time. But, it's just, you think about that, like everything that we've been told about and heard about and generations, thousands of years ago, heard about and prophesied about is about to happen. And it's just like we are extremely close to everything going down. This is Romans 13:11. And then knowing, which I'm reading the AMP, it says, do this, knowing that this is a critical time. It is already the hour for you to awaken from your sleep of spiritual complacency. Let's get that word complacency real quick. Complacence, it says smugness, a feeling of smug or unsatisfied with oneself or one's achievements. Smugness, self-approval, self-satisfaction. Laziness, that's the point. Laziness, carelessness, slackness. That's what our people are in. They're spiritually lazy, or spiritually sleep. Our people are in a spiritual slumber. So now is the time to wake up from the spiritual sleep. Just like how in the world they say, I'm woke. They're not talking about physically. They're talking about mentally and spiritually. But even the people who say I'm woke, usually they're still asleep. But I'm going to read the verse again. Do this knowing that this is a critical time. It is already the hour for you to awaken from your sleep of spiritual complacency. For our salvation is nearer to us than when we first believed in Yahweh Shai. Right? It's literally closer right here at the door. Verse 12. The night, this present evil age is almost gone, and the day of Yahweh Shai's return is almost here. So let us fling away the works of darkness and put on the full armor of light. Right, so like I said, this present evil age, this evil world we're living in, like I say, evil age, because that's when people say the end of the world, it's really the end of this age, the end of Esau, Edom ruling over the earth, and the time for righteousness to reign on earth. That's why I say it's almost gone, in the day of Yahweh Shai's return, which is when righteousness, the kingdom of heaven, a kingdom catered to the Israelites, will begin. That time is almost here. We are really right here at the doors. Now, I want to get, I think I got an zap. Yeah, this is Luke chapter 21 and 28. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. So Yahweh Shai was going through all the signs that was going to be going on and the things that was going to be happening in the last days prior to his return. And at that very hour, World War III, those missiles shooting off and they flying over here to Babylon, the great America, from all these other countries, getting ready to destroy this place. Lord said, look up and lift up your heads, because the chariots are going to be there beaming up the elect, which is the redemption or the salvation. Yahweh Shai is coming back with the chariots, the angels, the heavenly hosts, to come back and redeem the elect and destroy the rest of the nations in their power. And it's funny because I seen a brother's title earlier today while I was on my way home, and the title said, "There in World War III there will be no winners, but there will be one to take the biggest L." And I found it funny because this third world war, there literally will not be a winner between these nations. Yahweh Shai is coming back to put everybody down. So ultimately, he will be the victor. He will be the victor of it all. But these other nations who thinking that they're gonna have a place, all of them are gonna lose. But Babylon the Great is gonna take the biggest L. So, let me see. I think I had one more. Yeah, I wanted to get the Isaiah 4, but I wanted to get it. Okay, this is Isaiah 4. I'll read one, but the point is verse 2. It's Isaiah 4:1 in KJV. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, "We will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach." Which we know that is manifested, and it will manifest on a whole nother scale the closer we get to the destruction and the return of Yahweh Shai. I seen another brother's title of his video today where it was saying, actually I was watching the video, and it said it will go from my man, women will go from saying my man to our man. Salaki. So this is Isaiah 4:2. Now I'm gonna go down this whole page because this page has a lot of information. And this is BibleHub.com. So it says in the King James Version, "In that day shall the branch of the Lord be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel." And I'm going to get a couple other translations. The Amplified Bible. "In that day the branch of the Lord will be splendid and glorious, and the fruit of the land will be excellent and lovely to those of Israel who have survived." I looked at a lot of these translations. I can't even remember some of the ones that I was going to read. I think it's on down though. Yeah, it's on down. So let's get the literal standard version. It says, "In that day is the shoot of Yahweh for desire and for glory, and the fruit of the earth for excellence and for beauty to the escaped of Israel." This is the elect it's talking about. Let's go down. There it is. One of these had the remnant. This is a Lamsa Bible. It says translation from Aramaic. "In that day shall the glory and honor of the Lord shine forth, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for the remnant of Israel." So it's going into how the kingdom and everything after the destruction of this wicked present age, this present evil age, as it said in Romans, how the earth is going to literally be catered to the Israelites. Life, existence, the world that's going to be created is going to be catered to the Israelites, and the remnant will be the first to enjoy it, which is the elect. But since it's translated from the Aramaic, let me see. I kind of want to see what Isaiah 4:1 say in that translation. Let's see. There's a lot of translations. Okay, it said the same thing. Just looking at all the different translations of. Okay. All right. So let me go back. All right. So that was the literal translation. No, that was one of the Aramaics translation. Now let's go down. It says the parallel Strongs. Let's see. It's going to the same thing. Now the page don't want to show. It had a lot more information on there earlier, that's why I left it up. Now it's not showing all the information. Let me refresh it. It had the concordance, and it just went into more of verse 2 earlier. Now it's not giving me the information that it had on the screen. I don't know why it's not doing it. I literally had this up. Let me try it again though. See if I can find it. And I'll read the AI review. It says Isaiah 4:2 describes a future time of restoration where the branch of the Lord, the Messiah, will be glorious and the land's produce will be beautiful and a source of pride for Israel's survival, signifying the Most High's renewal after judgment, offering hope, beauty, and life through the promised descendant of David. I know I had read out of that. I'm trying to get back on Bible. Okay, I think it's up there now. Yeah, here we go. The cross references. Now the cross. That's not what I wanted. Keep going down. I want to stay on the point of salvation. Right, so here we go, the study vibe. It says on that day, and it breaks down each part of the scripture. On that day, this phrase refers to a future time of divine intervention and restoration, which is the return of Yahweh Shah. That's the divine intervention and restoration for the nation of Israel. We are the only nation that's completely destroyed and don't have a place in this world. The Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanic, Latinos, and Native Americans. We're the only people who don't have a place in this world. So the restoration is for us. It says in the prophetic literature, that day often signifies the day of the Lord, the return of Yahweh Shah, a time when the Most High will act decisively in history. It is a period associated with both judgment and salvation, emphasizing the hold on. Let me click that. We finna get this word. I'm not even finna attempt to say it.
Eschatological.
What?
Eschatological.
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 Eschatological. Let's see what that means. Relating to death, judgment, and the final destiny of the soul and of humankind. So it says emphasizing I keep clicking it. The eschatological hope for Israel, basically the salvation, instead of receiving judgment and dying, salvation. Now it says the branch of the Lord. The term branch is a messianic title, indicating a future leader from the line of David, which is Yahweh Shah. The imagery is used in other prophetic books such as Jeremiah 23:5. Okay. And Zechariah 3:8, where it symbolizes the coming Messiah who will bring justice and righteousness. The branch signifies new growth and life, pointing to Yahweh Shah as the fulfillment of this prophecy. It says will be glorious, beautiful and glorious. It says this description highlights the splendor and majesty of the Messiah. The beauty and glory are not merely physical attributes, but reflect the divine nature and the perfect reign of the Messiah. This aligns with the New Testament portrayal of Yahweh Shah's glory as seen in John 1:14 and Revelations 5:12. It says in the fruit of the land. The fruit of the land symbolizes the blessings and prosperity that will come with the Messiah's reign, It suggests a time of abundance and restoration for Israel, for the nation of Israel. The rem, the re, the re, remin, Salakia. Reminiscent. I keep clicking. Make sure I pronounce this word correctly.
Reminiscent.
Reminiscent, Salakia. Reminiscent of the promises in Deuteronomy 30 and 9. This phrase also connects to the idea of spiritual fruitfulness as seen in Galatians 5:22 and 23. But like it said, it symbolizes blessings and prosperity for the elect. Because after when you hit them chariots, you get on them chariots, and you get those new bodies, you made it. You made it to the kingdom. You officially made it. It says, "Will be the pride and glory of Israel survivors." Now, before I continue, let me get a quick precept. It's Jeremiah chapter 29, 17. No, not 17. I mean 11. "For I know the thoughts I think toward you, thoughts of peace, and not evil, to give you an expected end." And in the AMP it says, "For I know the plans and thoughts that I have for you, says the Lord to the nation of Israel, plans for peace and well-being and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope." This is what the Lord has promised to the nation of Israel. And this is Isaiah 4 and 2 is just building on top of that. Now it says, "Will be the pride and glory for Israel survivors." This indicates that the remnant of Israel, which is the elect, those who remain faithful through trials, through the judgments that's coming on the earth now, will experience the full fulfillment of the Most High's promises. The survivors, which is the elect, are often mentioned in prophetic texts as those who endure and are preserved by the Most High. Isaiah 10:20 through 22. The pride and glory reflect the honor and dignity restored to Israel, fulfilling the covenant promises made by the patriarchs. Right, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So the Lord made a promise that he was going to do this for the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And now we're living in a time where the Lord is going to bring those promises to fruition, starting with the elect. Now, I think this is just going back over everything. So I'm going to read it again. "The branch of the Lord," this term is often understood as the Messiah title, referring to the coming Messiah who, and it's Christians, but the believers of Yahweh Shah, the Israelites, believe is Yahweh Shah, Hamashiach. The Hebrew word for branch, which they got it wrong, it says, which signifies growth or a sprout, symbolizing new hope, new life and hope. The Lord, which is Yahweh, not Yahweh, is Yahweh. The covenant name of the Most High, emphasizing his eternal and unchanging nature. In this context, it highlights the Most High's role in bringing about redemption and restoration. The fruit of the land symbolizes the blessings and prosperity that will come with the Messiah's reign. It represents both physical and spiritual abundance. Absolutely. For the elect, that's Isaiah 60. All these other nations will go into captivity, and they will bring all their wealth unto us, and the earth will be restored. Eventually, it's going to be restored back into its former glory, and it's going to produce for us abundantly. And the other nations are going to gather the resources for us. So there will be extreme, continually. The scripture says our gates will be open continually. So they're going to continually be working and bringing us resources, bringing us everything. The survivors of Israel, it says remnant refers to the remnant of the Most High's people who remain faithful and are preserved through judgment, which is the judgments that's coming on the earth now, that we seeing now, all the way up until those chariots show up. This the elect is talking about. This remnant theme is prevalent throughout the prophetic books. And today, this phrase often points to a future time of divine intervention, judgment, and restoration, commonly referred to as the day of the Lord, the day Yahweh Shah returns. So I think this is just saying the same thing. Well, it's giving a little bit more, but I ain't gonna read all of it. Let's see. Yeah, and all this is just going back through the same thing with the precepts what they Israel's boast is no longer military might or economic clout. I'm surprised they even used the word clout. It is the Lord's own provision and presence, which is true. I'll read the summary. It says Isaiah 4:2 promises a glorious future when the Messiah, the branch of the Lord, appears in splendor. On that day, he beautifies himself, his people, and even the soil under their feet. Judgment paves the way, leading a purified remnant whose pride and glory rest entirely in the Lord and the abundance he provides. This verse anchors hope in the literal coming reign of Yahushua that rejuvenates both hearts and the earth, vindicating the Most High's faithfulness to Israel and inviting every believer to look forward with confident expectation. So it's letting you know salvation is only for Israel, not the other nations. So yeah. Now that he's given all this information about Isaiah 4:2, I want to go back to Isaiah 4:1 and see what they say down here. Yeah, this is perfect. This is the study Bible for Isaiah 4:1. Now, in that day, it says the same thing that it said the first time about judgment and restoration. So I'm gonna skip that one and go to the second one. It says 7 women will take hold of 1 man. The number 7 often symbolizes completeness or perfection in the Bible. That's spot on. So the number could be more. It could be 70, 700, 7,000, or it can be 4, 5, 6, 2. You know, the number just goes into a complete number for said man, which is the man of the elect. Here it suggests a significant imbalance between men and women, likely due to the devastation of war, where many men have died. This scenario reflects a desperate situation where women seek security and social standing through marriage, even if it means sharing one husband. This is spot on, and this is we already seeing. We already seeing the embers of this flame up, but like I said, when things ramp up, judgment of Yahweh Bashim Awashak gets more intense, we gonna see this on a whole nother scale like never before seen. And like I said, they seek that security because Isaiah 33:6. Let me get that real quick. And I'm reading the AMP. It says, I'm reading both. And he will be the security and stability of your times, a treasure of salvation, wisdom, and knowledge. The fear of the Lord is your treasure. Like I said, the security. Now in the KJV, it says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, which is that security. And only the men of the Lord is going to have that stability because they have the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. The Lord is going to be with the elect during that time. And strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So it was spot on with that. With this, it said women will seek security and social standing, which the social standing meaning they're just in good standing with you because you in good standing with the Lord. You know, because it ain't gonna be about this world anymore. This world is literally dying, and the things of this world, the people of this world, none of that's gonna matter. If the man of the Lord is good with the Most High, they're going to want to be good with you, because if they're good with you, then, the Lord is going to take care of them too. It says, and say we will eat our own bread and provide our own clothes. This indicates a reversal of traditional marital roles where a husband would typically provide for his wife. The woman's willingness to support themselves highlights their desperation to remove the stigma of being unmarried, meaning they're going to do whatever it takes to get with the men of the Lord. It don't matter. They're going to do whatever it takes. It also reflects the economic hardship and societal collapse following judgment. Is this not what we're seeing right now? This is literally what we're seeing right now. The economic hardship for people to survive. Homelessness is rising to an all-time high, or people living in their cars. And societal collapse, we're literally seeing these things happen. So these women are getting pushed to that point, to that brink. Just let us be called by your name. Being called by the man's name signifies marriage. And what is marriage through the Bible? According to the Bible, sex. And the social protection it affords. In ancient Israel, a woman's identity and security were closely tied to her marital status. Right, because an unmarried woman was a shame. That was literally a shame and disgraceful if you was a woman and you couldn't find it. Even to this day, if you're a woman and you can't find a husband, you can't find a man, it's something, people start looking at you like it's something wrong with you. Why don't a man want to be with you? It says this plea underscores the cultural importance of marriage and the shame associated with being unmarried. See, it's a shame and women know this. Even the OnlyFans stars, corn stars, all these women know when they get done doing whatever they do, they know that it's something that something is not right. Something's missing because they're designed to be with one man. So when they're out there doing these things and thinking that they're living their lives, they're lying to themselves and they're lying to society. Because when they get older or when they stop doing that, every single last one of them realize they can't find a stable relationship. They done damaged their image to the point of no return. No man wants to be associated with them because as a man, the woman you deal with, that reflects like, she represents you. She is a representation of you. So if her behavior or her character or her reputation is negative, that's going to reflect on you big time. That's going to say a lot about who you are, And the same for a woman. If she gets a higher value man, or a higher social status man, that's it, that makes her look a certain type of way. But it's a shame for a woman to be unmarried. Now it says, take away our disgrace. The disgrace refers to the social stigma of being unmarried and childless. That's two double whammies, because a part of your purpose as a woman is to get married, and the other part is to bear children. But if you're not doing both and you're of age or beyond that age, there's something seriously wrong. There's something seriously wrong with that scenario. And of course, we living in a society where men and women are completely out of their Israelite men and women are completely out of their mind. But you have a lot of women who have or have had the opportunity to both be in a stable relationship and to bear children, and chose feminism. They chose this world, or they chose their careers over doing that. And this is the women that it's primarily talking about. Now it says this grace refers to the social stigma of being unmarried and childless, which was significant in ancient Near Eastern cultures. This is where we come from, the eastern side of the world. This plea for the removal of this grace can also be seen as a metaphor for Israel's spiritual condition, seeking redemption and restoration. Oh, this is literal. This is literal, like it's explained in the first sentence. The concept of disgrace and its removal is echoed in other scriptures, such as in the redemptive work of Yahweh, who takes away the shame of sin. But no, it's literal. So it says 7 women, symbolic of a large number, representing the desperation and a societal imbalance due to the scarcity of men, likely caused by war or judgment. And not only just the scarcity of men, but the scarcity of the men of the elect, because the men of the elect will not be out there where people can find them. So if a woman come across a man of the Lord and the Lord pairs her up with him, that was literally divine intervention. The Lord led her to you or put him in your path. One man represents the few surviving men, which will be men of the elect, after a period of judgment, highlighting the dire circumstances and the reversal of traditional roles. This grace reverts to the shame and social stigma of being unmarried or childless in ancient Israelite society, which was seen as a curse or judgment from the Most High. It was a curse or judgment from the Most High. A lot of women were barren, and that weighed on them heavily. that they couldn't bear children, produce children for their husbands. Just think about Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel. That weighed on them heavily. And especially for Sarah was jealous of Hagar, and that was a whole dynamic Abraham had to deal with. Rachel was jealous of her own sister, and that was a dynamic that Jacob had to deal with. So, it says, teaching point, understand cultural context and judgment. Understand the cultural significance of marriage and family in ancient Israel, which we understand now. We understand the importance of marriage and family now, and not according to the way that we was taught over here in America, in Western civilization, but according to the way that Yahweh Bashim Abashah set it up. It says the desperation of the women reflects the severe consequences of the Most High's judgment on the nation, and not only just the nation, but this earth. Let's see. It said the Most High's redemptive work. Despite the judgment, Isaiah 4 continues with a message of hope and restoration. This reminds us of the Most High's faithfulness and his ultimate plan to redeem and restore his people. So like I was reading in verse 2, that's what it talk about for the elect. So I think there's everything is yeah. I'll read this one. It says, just let us be called by your name. It says, claiming your name means legal marriage, gaining a man's household identity. Right. So that marriage, which is legal according to the site, the only way is legal, which is according to the way of Yahweh Bashim Abashah, because this world is passing away and the ways of this world is passing away. That was never right to begin with. Bowing down, a man getting on one knee, bowing down and asking a woman to marry him, submitting yourself to a woman. That's not according to the Bible, how the Lord set it up. That's not marriage according to the Bible. Marriage is sex according to the Bible. Now, there was a proper way of doing it, a process to it. It ain't just you have sex and you married, even though sex is that's what physically consummates a marriage, but it was a process to it. But still, legal marriage according to because we're talking about the scriptures now, legal marriage according to the Bible is through sex. Take away our disgrace. Our disgrace refers to the stigma of barrenness or singleness in that culture. In the culture we living in now, being single. For a woman, it's never been okay for women to be single. Even doing feminism, even doing the career woman, the independent woman mindset. We seeing what the independent woman mindset, the end of it. We seeing the fruit that it bears. A lot of single women in their older age wishing they had a man, wishing they didn't prioritize their career, wishing they prioritize having a family. So I'm gonna just read this and then I'll probably just close it out. So the summary, Isaiah 4:1 literally pictures a devastated society where women beg. Oh my God, this is on point. It says devastated society where women beg a single man for marriage simply to erase shame, offering to meet their own material needs. Right. And it said beg. I'm surprised they put all this detail into it, because this is what women will be doing. They're going to beg you. They're going to be begging, please, 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 can I be with you? Please, please. I have nobody else. I have nothing. I won't be a burden to you. You don't have to take me out. You don't have to worry about doing this and doing that for me. Please, can I be with you? Especially. If like the Lord, the Lord give you those spiritual powers and they see it, and they see you able to take care of yourself. They gonna beg. It says the verse stands as a sober reminder that disobedience brings tangible relational fallout. Right. Disobedience brings tangible relational fallout. A woman that's out of order, that's gonna bring relational fallout. And it's gonna literally women that's out of order, not under a man or not under their man, that will put you and that's gonna put your life in jeopardy. Women are starting to realize that, some women, but it's gonna get to the point to where all women are gonna realize not being under a man, your husband, or for the most part your husband, because that's that's what we're speaking about. But of course, young women would be like their fathers until they become come of age and have a man. But for the most part, your husband will put you literally in danger. Yet it also hints at a deeper hope. Only by taking hold of a greater name, the Most High's own, can lasting disgrace be removed and true security restored. Let's see. And in that 7 day, it said this is the Ellicott's commentary for English readers. And in that day, 7 women, this chapter division wrongly separates the verse from the foregoing. It comes as the climax of the chastisement of the daughters of Zion, as the companion picture to Isaiah 3 and 6. As men sought eagerly, yet in vain, a protector, so women should seek for a husband. Those who have been wooed and courted and have been proudly fidicious. Let's get this word. Very attentive to and concerned about the accuracy and detail. Very concerned about matters of cleanliness. Should supplicate in eager rivalry. The 7 women to 1 man implies a land depopulated by war, and so making polygamy natural. Polygyny, polygyny, because polygamy it's the same thing, but it say the practice of having one or more wife or a husband at the same time. They try to add the husband, but polygyny, it says the practice of having multiple wives. So it's 1 man having multiple wives. But it says so making polygyny natural. That's what's going to happen. Polygyny is going to become the standard again in the earth, which it never went away. It's just Western culture dominated. The way Esau tried to depopulate and ultimately the Lord did this as a way of punishment, taking away our access to having multiple women. He made us he designed men specifically to desire multiple women, and throughout the curses we was taken away. So now the Lord is making it a way to where he bringing it back. It says, and so making polygamy natural for the protection of marriage, and that not on the usual conditions of having food and clothing found for them, Exodus 21:10, but as working for their own livelihood, to take away our reproach. Better as an imperative, take thou away. The reproach is that of being childless. From the Jewish standpoint, that was not only the great sorrow, but the great shame of womanhood, implied, as men thought, a sin of which it was the chastisement. Basically saying, if you can't bear children or you don't have children, it's because of something that you've done. It's so much. I'm gonna probably read it. I'm gonna probably read that last paragraph. This is the end of the page. So I'm gonna read this last commentary. The pulpit commentary. 7 verse 1. 7 women shall take hold of 1 man. This verse has been well called a companion picture to Isaiah 3, 6, and 7, as there in the evil time of the Most High's judgment, the despairing men are represented as taking hold of a respectful man to make him their judge. So now the despairing women take hold of such a man and request him now to allow them all to be regarded as his wives. There has been such a destruction. Men are become so scarce that no otherwise can women escape the shame and reproach of being unwedded and childless. Our own bread will we eat. They do not ask him to support them. They are able and willing to support themselves. To take away, rather take thou away. The imperative mood, not the infinitive. It says our children. Children were regarded as such a blessing in the ancient times that to be childless was a misfortune and a subject of reproach. See, here it is. It didn't even mention it. I didn't even know it was going to mention it. Hagar despised the barren Sarah, Genesis 16:4. Her adversary provoked Hannah's sword because Hannah, which is the mother of Samuel, she was barren because the Lord has shut up her womb, which is 1 Samuel 1:6. Compared the lament of Antigone, who views it as a disgrace that she descends to the tomb unwed. And it says Soph, I don't know what that is. Among the Jews, childlessness was a special reproach because it took away all possibility of women being in the line of the Messiah's descent, which I'm not sure about that either. But I think it's just gonna give more different commentaries, which I'm not gonna read all of it because it's all saying the same thing. And it's probably more that actually give, some good explanations, but for the most part, we got it. If you want, you can go through the different translations and look it up. And I'm probably gonna go back through it another day, and if I see something else, I'm definitely gonna bring it out. But Lord will, it was edifying. So, again, the point that time is almost near for all these judgments and these prophecies to come to pass. So on that note, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Dash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. And until next time, shalom.